Welcome back to the World's Worst Fishing. I'm Chris Jones, and today we're checking out a new mold. This is Angling AI's newest creation. It's a frog mold. I've seen a few pictures. It's pretty cool. We're going to do an unboxing. We're going to make some baits and have a good time in the process. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and let's dig in here and see what we have. Changing it up today, a little Michelob Amber Bock. I drink this on occasion. It's not my most my most preferred beer, but I drink this if I can't find Yuengling or if I don't want to spend the money on German beer. This is a really great beer. This is like Killian's Irish Red. It's just one of those beers that I really love. I don't buy it a whole lot, but when I do, I always enjoy. Alright, Angling AI, Jackson, Michigan. See what we have. Oh baby, oh baby, oh baby. Let's see, yeah, Josh always puts, yeah. So I did the tail mold. I did the tail mold and the actual frog mold, so that you can do tails. Yeah, he always puts a little packing slip, and I know that some of his molds he'll actually put instructions. Like he has instructions for the bloodline, he has instructions for the C block. So if you get a mold from Angling AI and it has some instructions, definitely follow the instructions. He puts those in there for a reason, to try to help out anybody who's new to his products. Okay, should be a 3 cavity, I believe is what I selected. Alright, so let's see what we have. This is exciting, guys. Oh yeah. So there's the bottom side. He has a nice hook slot for good, easy, weedless rigging. And then, sort of like on my most recent creature bait that I made, he has a little notch up here that's going to make a little bump on the top so that you can bury your hook in there and kind of skin hook it into this notch. It'll just provide a little bit more weedlessness, if that makes any sense. So yeah, that's an interesting way, that top injection that goes sideways. So I guess, let's see, top side, this side. So if I want to laminate, top side, the top side will be the side with your screws here, or your nuts, wing nuts. Well, those aren't wing nuts, whatever they are. So that's the top side. So yeah, you can see we have some vents coming along, all this nice venting right in here, and I really love the feet. They remind me of the creature from the Black Lagoon, just like his webbed hands. So I don't. Creature from the Black Lagoon's a pretty old movie. It was filmed right here in Tallahassee at Wakulla Springs. So if you haven't seen it, check it out. It's really old, but it's a classic. So yeah, this is really cool. Now let's check out the tail mold. All right, and the tail mold allows you to do split tail colors. So if you've watched my channel for any length of time, you've probably seen me do split tail colors, where I'll shoot a color, I'll clip off the tails and leave that color in there and then fill in the rest with a different color. This just allows you to do that a little quicker without having to fill the entire mold. So you can shoot, let's say I want a blue tail. I can shoot this with just blue, clip the tails off, place them in the mold, and then shoot the bait over that. So yeah, looks like that makes quite a few tails. And yeah, this is incredible attention to detail. This kind of stuff right here really sets him apart. So yeah, I can't wait to get into this bad boy. Alright, so we're going to do a couple things here. I have about half, well yeah, that's 2/3 of a cup. Or no, how much is that? That's about a half a cup. So I have half a cup of plastic here, and that's going to be our tail colors. And then I have over a cup, and this is going to be our solid base color. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a solid color with split tails, and then after that we'll heat up some all new plastic, and then we'll see how it laminates. and just kind of check out the frog. And we'll just kind of do a couple different versions of it, utilizing both, obviously, the mold itself and the tail mold a little bit, and just kind of see what sort of combinations and we can come up with and really stretch the legs of this thing. I think it's going to be a pretty cool deal. And then we'll make a few of my frog. I have a custom frog that I designed a long time ago called the Florida Frog, and so we'll kind of do a little compare, contrast, so to speak, and just kind of look at the two frogs. All right, so we're just going to do a simple blue tail. So we're just going to throw some of my favorite blue in there, phthalo blue. And we're going to add some small silver to it. This is 0.008, just regular silver. It's not hologram or anything, but it kind of looks like that once you use it. All right. And this is very, very, very small glitter. So you don't need a lot. A little of it goes a very long way. Okay, now we're gonna just go ahead and stir this in. I love blue with little silver flake. How do you not like that? That is something special. All right. Perfect. All right, now we're gonna make some tails. Okay, here we go. Yeah, wow, that does not take a lot of plastic. Done. All right, let's take a look at these tails. Just kind of see what we have going on here. All right. Yeah, so there we go. And I guess you don't really know where you're supposed to clip them off, but we'll figure it out here in just a minute. I'm sure I'll be able to do it right once I lay these in the frog mold. I'll kind of see where they're supposed to go. So I noticed something that is kind of ingenious here. You see this little tiny hole in the leg right there? So that's where it breaks off, and I think what that does is allow plastic from the body to, whenever you shoot the main body color, I think that plastic kind of gets in that groove and it just kind of helps bond. Yeah, so I mean, that's the only way I can figure. So this is kind of a little learning experiment, but this is so neat. Yeah, so I mean, that's how they sit. And yeah, I'm really curious to see how this completely turns out. And so we're gonna pop that one off, and here, I'll hold it up here for you guys. Put that one in the mold. And what's nice about having a tail mold is that I don't have an entire frog body worth of waste now. All I have to do is shoot that, and then you're done. All right, there we go. And we're gonna go ahead and close the mold. And then we're gonna prepare a base color, which I'm just gonna do watermelon candy. So we're just kind of starting off real simple here. Just a simple base color and a simple tail color. And we're gonna go ahead and prepare that now. All right. Dark watermelon from MF. Always my go-to. And it has a ton of moisture in it, you can tell by the bubbles. Thank you. Thank you, Florida weather. You know, this cup might be a little too full here. We're gonna wind up sloshing a little bit out, but oh yeah, that's looking good. All right, we're just gonna give it a few minutes. Those bubbles will work themselves out, and then we'll add some flake. All right, so we're looking a little crowded here, but my watermelon candy is MF dark watermelon, 0.035 black, and then 0.035 green. And you've probably seen this color on the channel before, but it's just so good that I keep coming back to it. All right, and then 0.035 purple. I always like to maybe add a little more purple than the other colors. Okay, let's stir this in without spilling too much of it. I kind of made a little bit too much, poured a little too much plastic in this one cup, but that's all right. And there's watermelon candy. And it is such a good color. All right, now we're going to inject the mold. 3 frogs coming right up. And anytime you're doing split tails, you definitely want to hold pressure. Really want to try to get those two sides to really fuse together. So you want to shoot your second color fairly hot. That way it will maybe kind of melt into those tails a little better. And then definitely hold a good 15-20 seconds of pressure. And then you should be good to go. New mold, drum roll. I used to be better at that. All right. Let's see if we got anything. I'd only topped off the sprue once, so I'm hoping that I didn't get problems. Oh yes. Look at this, y'all. Oh yeah, we're just going to tear them right off. Ho ho ho. Look at that. Look at this. Let's get one out and play with it. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, you can see that little notch on the top. Your hook can sit right in that, and it will just kind of help it not be, oh yeah, I like the way that those legs kind of do the worm thing. And they have like the little webbed foot look. A couple eyes up front. A few humps. Here it is from the front. Dang, y'all, this is freaking cool. This is freaking cool. Oh yeah, good job, man. You designed a killer frog. And it's pretty dense, actually. It's a thick frog. I think it has a little more body to it than mine. Mine have longer legs, but the good thing about the body is if it's dense, that means it has a little weight to it. You'll probably cast this pretty well. You'll cast it really far. A humongous sprue. I mean, that is absolutely humongous. But you know, thick baits need a thick sprue to draw plastic in from. And you'll notice that the gates are really wide up here. And again, a bait that's going to draw in a lot of plastic needs a big plastic source and a big gate to draw it from. So a really well designed mold. All right, so you'll notice that there's now 2 molds out here, and we have gone ahead and prepared both molds. So both molds have blue tails. So the bottom mold is my custom frog mold. The top is the Angling AI mold. Okay. I'm not sure if I have enough plastic, but hopefully we do. Again, just want to hold lots of pressure. And because frogs are such big, thick, dense baits, even when you're not doing split tails, you still want to hold a lot of pressure because they have such thick cavities that they're prone to denting more. You know, the sprue, the cavity has to draw in so much plastic because it's so thick. Sometimes it can draw in air. So you definitely don't want that. So when you're shooting frogs, just kind of go a little slower, hold lots of pressure. Not like forceful pressure, but hold pressure for a good length of time. And then you should be okay. So we're gonna take a look at these 2 frogs. These are both gorgeous frogs. You know, I get a lot of questions about where I got my frog mold, and I went custom. I had one, I spent well over $1,000 to have my own frog mold design put into a CNC injection mold, because let's face it, most of the frog molds already out there are just kind of lame. They just don't do it for me, and everyone else kind of thinks the same thing. I have a lot of questions. Where do you get a good frog mold? And I said, well, I went custom. You know, because a lot of people have wanted to buy this mold. Now you actually do have a great option without having to shell out the money for custom, and that's this new bad boy right there. All right, here's the AI mold again. All right, oh yeah, looking super good. And what I like is that I'm not seeing any denting or anything like that. No air pockets, and that's just from a slow, steady shoot where I'm holding pressure. So can't stress that enough. Big bait draws in a lot of plastic from the runner. You've got to have steady pressure to really make sure that it fills all the way, and then you should get a good frog every time. All right, and then let's check out my own frog here. Okay, this is a 4-cavity. Yeah. All right, go ahead and break these off here at the nose, and you'll notice a similarity here. Big wide gates, and what that does two things. That obviously allows a lot of plastic from the runner to be drawn into the cavity, but a big wide nose like that also is easier to put a spring in. So most frogs, or most soft plastic frogs like these, are rigged essentially on a weightless swim bait hook, and they have a big spring that you screw into the nose, and that's going to hold that frog nice and firm on the hook. Because if you think about frog fishing, you drag it through pads, you drag it through slop and grass, and the hook can become dislodged quite easily. So those wide noses help with that. And you can see Josh's frog, AI's frog, is a little more beefy. It's just got a little more mass to it. Mine has the super long legs. They essentially turn into two worms. You know, a lot of times you'll have a bass wake up behind your frog and he won't quite commit to it. So you slow your frog down and you kind of dangle it like a worm. And so you really want a lot of movement in your feet. And that's why I chose to put these long legs on there. And you'll see that we both have hook slots for easy rigging. Wide nose again. But if you look at the AI frog, the legs are super beefy, right? You can see where the legs enter the body. There's a lot of plastic there. So you're not going to be pulling these legs off very easily. And they only get skinny right at the end. And so that's going to allow that leg to be pretty durable. And you can see that those feet, they're essentially a ribbon tail worm with webbed feet, which I love. And they're going to have a lot of action. You know, mine are actually a little thicker and smaller. You can just see the size of the foot in general. Mine are a little bit smaller, so kind of two different actions here. But you know, I just kind of wanted to show what I think are the two best frog molds. Mine's a custom because this one did not exist back in 2013, I think is when I did this one. So you know, now you have a freaking awesome frog option. All right, so we're going to take a brief intermission timeout to announce this brand new frog mold doesn't have a name. So Josh at Angling AI, what I did is I contacted him. I said, hey, I want to do a video on the new frog. So after I bought the frog mold, I said, hey, look, how about we do a name contest? So what we're going to do is a name this new frog mold contest. So the new frog doesn't have a name, and we really need a name for it. So what we're gonna do is shoot me a comment down below with your best name for this frog, whatever it is. You know, mine, when I designed it, I named it the Florida Frog because I designed it for Florida fishing, and I live in Florida. It was pretty easy, but I think we can do better than that for this one. So let's get your best names in the comment section below. I want lots of comments, hopefully you guys will participate. And what we're gonna do is 5 days after this video drops, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tell Josh, okay, go look at the video, read through all the comments, and he's gonna pick out the name that he likes best for the new frog mold. Excuse me. Once he notifies me of the winner, I'm then gonna announce the winner, and then I will send the winner 2 free bags of the new Angling AI frog. So let's have your best frog names. comments below, and let's see if we can get a really good name for a really good bait. All right, now it's time to have some two-color fun. So a little dead-on green. Okay, and then a little dead-on purple rain. So we're going to laminate these two. And then we're going to use another little tool from Angling AI called the C block, which allows you to do kind of swirly camo blend patterns using your dual injector. So yeah, I think that's going to look pretty wild. Then we're going to add some black flake to the green side, just some medium black. Then a little bit to the purple side. Alrighty. And then to the green side, we're going to add a little bit of blue highlight, and that will just give it a little extra kind of kick to the color. Alright. Love blue highlight, check that out. That was really cool. So those are going to be our two colors. Go ahead and get that stirred in. Yeah. Looking good. That is a pretty shade of blue. The dead-on purple rain. I don't use it enough. Alright. Yeah, looking good here. I've kind of featured this look before on the channel, doing like a bright green with blue highlight. I just think it makes a really, really nice effect. Cannot go wrong with it. Okay. Alright, now we're going to do a laminate. And we're going to do a green top and a purple bottom. And the green is the left side, because that's the side that has the bolts, which is what we determined earlier. Alright, so we're just going to hold some pressure. So green side should be the top side. Is it just me, or does that kind of remind you of like an ice cream color? I really want some ice cream. Alright. Let's see how these laminates did. Hopefully I got the right side color on the right side. And I did. Not bad. I must not have had the colors perfectly even, but you know, the sprue, man, that is just the biggest sprue or runner. Look at that. Hey, a little bit of overage on the front, but not bad for my first time. I love what it did in the tail there. That is really something. But you know, as you can see, it laminates fairly well, or actually very well. I think the purple was a little warmer because that's the side that's kind of creeping over. So I'll probably have to pay a little better attention to my temperatures. Okay, now it's time to have fun. This is the Angling AI C block. It's a style of blending block that is pretty much proprietary to Angling AI. Nobody else has it. And this baby doesn't care what kind of temperatures you give it. It's going to spit out some awesome blended effects. So you do it just like you would a regular blending block. Okay? You can do it parallel like this, or you can do it inline. You can rotate it and do it inline with the mold. But it gives you kind of a lathed, random, swirly, blended camouflage pattern. You never know what you're gonna get. It's like a box of chocolates, so I'll squirt some out on the top there, just so you can see what I'm talking about. And you can see how it just kind of blends them together. Almost like the hand pour divider cup that you see me use. This is how you do that with injection. Now if you want a true spiral swirl, then you milk the cow with the regular blending block. But if you just want some cool, random, you never know what you're gonna get effects, then the C block is what you want. And I'll open it up real quick so that you can see what it is. It's a crazy little contraption. So you have like this plate in here, and there's kind of what it does. You can see some of the, you know, it just kind of puts random lines of plastic in there, and when they come through your, when they come into the mold, you can see it does some really cool effects. So that is the Angling AI C block. This is the Angling AI nameless frog. Hopefully you guys will come up with some cool names. And I can't wait to see what we have here. Definitely gonna do a drum roll for the C block. Single stroke roll. Double stroke roll. Triple stroke roll. Paradiddle. Now kind of messed up there, but I'm not warmed up. That's the thing about drumming. You have to like get your muscles loose and, you know, get the twitch going on to play these patterns. All right. Yes. Look at this, you guys. This is why the C block is so neat. We have just some random beautifulness here. Yeah. You never know what you're gonna get. So we'll look at all the back sides here. Okay. Then the front sides. Definitely looks like the magic really happened on the front side. But that, yeah, and then look at the runner, you know. It literally looks like the divider cup in a way. So that is awesome stuff right there. All right, so now we're gonna look at how this thing rigs. So I have a frog hook here. There's actually still a little bit of plastic in the spring. But, like I said earlier, that wide face is gonna make this so much easier, okay? All right, so screw that in the face there. I believe this is a 5/0 hook, okay? And you can see how well that holds. I mean, you can tug on it and it's gonna stay in place. So then we're gonna Texas rig this out the back, okay? And you can see this notch there. Beautiful, just like that. So that hook is buried in that notch. That's gonna be more leadless probably than my frog. My frog does not have the notch. I should have thought of that, geez. But you can see that notch, the hook stays buried in there. You can still set a hook, catch the fish, but this allows you to just keep skin hooking it over and over, and you're gonna wear this out, I think, not near as quickly. Yeah. All right, everybody. There are our frogs from today. So I think this thing is pretty awesome. So as soon as I saw that he had a frog coming out, I said, man, I've got to get my hands on this. You know, I didn't really need another injection frog mold, but I knew that this one would be great, and I mean, this will be in my arsenal as much. I mean, I do a lot of frog fishing. If you look back on my videos, I like to go to a lake called Lake Imonia here in Tallahassee. It's a frog fisherman's delight. And I've caught so many fish out there on my frog. My personal best bass came on a horny toad out there in 2006, an 11-pounder. It is a great place to frog fish. So, you know, on days when they're not biting my frog, we're gonna throw this one at them. When they're not biting this one, I'm gonna throw mine, you know, and now I have two awesome frogs to throw at them. So I'm really excited about that. You know, this is really a great thing. And the fact that he did a tail mold, you know, just shows his dedication to it. You know, frog molds have kind of been left behind in the bait world. You know, if you look at what's being done with swim baits, jerk baits, stick worms, you know, there's a lot of innovation going on with those types of molds. The frogs, not so much, but now there is. So definitely check it out, the Angling AI frog. Let's get a name for it. That way I don't have to call it the Angling AI frog. Lots of comments down below. This is the only contest that we're gonna do with this mold. So if you're watching this video, let's do it. You can win a couple bags of these. And hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we will catch you next time.